morning, New York Mets Nation, and welcome to the Bat Cave. I'm your host, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry. I hope everybody's doing well out there in podcast land, all my beautiful Batarangs. I'm doing A-okay. So let's kick it off right away. Of course, like we always started off with, I'll talk about the Mets' last 7 days and how it's been going. And we were back to the same old Mets, it felt like, which is very unfortunate because I felt like we turned the corner. It felt like you turned the corner with that 5-game win streak. You know, everything was looking good. Felt like a little bit of a mirage, but you can see things starting to click a little bit, but it went right back to the same old Mets from earlier. And so we last Wednesday we had that's where we'll start from a second game 2 of 3 against the Cubs. It was a 4-2 loss. Marcus Stroman, former Met, came out and just he shut us down. Give Marcus Stroman props. I know that he was pretty pissed off when the Mets released him or didn't release him. I think we released him. I don't think we traded him. We might have traded him. I don't know. I don't remember. Adam Glenn checking in. What's up, Adam? How you doing, buddy? Good morning, Adam. Eating your scrambled eggs and Lucky Charms, I'm sure. Marcus Stroman came out. He pitched beautifully. Kodai Senga didn't pitch all that great. 5 innings pitched, 6 hits, only 3 earned runs, but the 5 walks, man, that is killer with Kodai Senga. More on him a little bit later as we go through the last 7. But Kodai Senga, but when he walks people, he's just in trouble. You can go back and look at all of his starts where he struggled. Doesn't give up a whole lot of earned runs, but walks a lot of people, which leads to high pitch count, which leads to a lot of traffic on the bases. Which leads to early exits for our boy Kodai Senga. So, if he can keep those walks down, it's beneficial to the orange and blue. I'll tell you that right now. The mayor of Las Vegas, Vegas Rob, checking in. What's up, brother? He says, "What's up, Ken? Beautiful day in Vegas this morning in Sin City, that dastardly desert of Sin City." Hopes all, but Rob had tacos yesterday, so everything's going well for your gut. I know whenever I eat tacos are great. I love soft tacos, but the hot sauce I put on my tacos, woo! I'll tell you what, man. Burns going in, burns going out. Last Wednesday, 4-2 loss. Mets against the Cubs. I gotta say about Senga, when he's walking people, things don't turn out well for him or the Mets. Like I said, usually it's a short outing. He doesn't give up a whole lot of earned runs, but a high pitch count then. Alvarez had a 2-run homer in that game, got us up early. But then our old nemesis there, Dansby Swanson, with a name like Dansby, it can't be wrong. Dansby Swanson killing us against with the Cubs as well as he did with when he was with the Braves. He had a couple RBIs. Seiya Suzuki, he also had an RBI. So we lose that game. We lose the first 2 games to the Cubs after we come off that 5-game win streak, feeling good about ourselves, feeling like we turned the goddamn corner. We lose 2 in a row to the woeful Cubs, to the terrible Cubbies. We come back. Last game, they were able to salvage a game against the Cubs. Offense wakes up. 10-1 win for the Mets against the Cubs last Thursday, I believe it was. Cookie Carrasco looked fantastic. 6 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, only 2 walks, 4 Ks. That's kind of what we seen last year from Cookie Carrasco in his early starts last season. Second half of the season, not so much. He got knocked around a good bit second half of the season last year. First half of the season, I thought Cookie Carrasco pitched very, very well. So he looked good against the Cubs that game. Like I said, 10-1 win for the Mets. Beatty had a couple RBI. Starling Marte, 2 for 4 with an RBI. Our boy Jeff McNeil, 3 for 4, 3 runs. He's starting to kind of pull out of it a little bit. I've been saying that for a couple of weeks. He'll have a couple of games where he'll get multiple hits. Then he'll get a game or two where he doesn't get anything, 0 for 4, 0 for 5. So he's still not quite where he was last season, winning the batting title and leading all the majors in batting average. But it's keep plugging away. He's a very important part of this team, a very important part of that lineup, and also defensively because he plays multiple positions. So keep plugging away. And our boy, the polar bear, Pete Alonso, he also had his 19th home run that game of the season. A couple RBI. Nimmo had a couple RBI and a triple. So it's a good win for the Mets, 10-1. Great outing for Cookie Carrasco. Good job by the bullpen. So we'll take that one. So you know what? You get that win, heading out to Colorado. Let's get a couple more there. Colorado handled us pretty well in New York, so we're going out there to Colorado, and Scherzer's on the mound the first game. He's been pitching well since coming back from his neck spasms, and the Mets come out pretty good in the first game of that series, 5-2 win against the Rockies. Mad Max, 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, which is huge for him. Earlier in the season he was having a lot of trouble with walks, and since they cracked down on that sticky stuff, the walks have actually gone down. So maybe the sticky stuff was causing him to walk. Maybe he was holding onto the ball too long. He wasn't releasing his fingers as soon. I don't know. 8 strikeouts. That takes his record to 4-2 with a 3.54 ERA. Great outing for Max. A couple outings in a row now. Lindor, 2 for 4, 4 RBI. He also had a home run. Beatty had an RBI. He was 2 for 4 also. So that takes us to the next game, which is a 10-7 loss for the Mets against the Rockies. It's 10-7, so you can kind of guess, what's going on here. Verlander was on the mound, looking for a back-to-back, terrific starts, but didn't happen. Verlander goes 5 innings pitched, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Lifted his ERA up to 4.8 now. So the roller coaster continues with Verlander. Just waiting for him to kind of find his groove, find what his footing, kind of like what he was doing last year, but so far just not getting the consistency that you want out of Justin Verlander. I mean, granted, he is about 65, but last year a sub-2 ERA, AL Cy Young. It's not what we were expecting this year. We weren't expecting an NL Cy Young out of Justin Verlander, but you're kind of expecting, a lot more quality starts so far. But patience. We're here. I'm a patient person. I know I kind of flipped my lid a couple weeks ago with David Peterson, but I'm remaining patient here. Cowboy Dave, yeah, Cowboy Dave, what's up? Says, hey, what's going on, my partner? Cowboy Dave and I will be doing a wrestling show coming up called The Atomic Drop. The first episode for that will be June 16th at 10:30 p.m. That's a Friday. I can't wait for that. And then his partner from Extra Innings, they do Extra Innings Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Our boy Joel Sullivan from the Sully Squad, who also is live on Mondays at 6:30, says, yo, Ken, what's up, bro? Big win for you guys last night. Senga looked great. Senga looked awesome last night. And I'll tell you what really helped. I was going to talk about this later, but we'll go with the comment. One of the things that really helped Senga out, like he walks a lot of guys, like I was talking about a couple minutes ago. It really hurts me. You look at a lot of his starts this year, a lot of walks, which leads to shorter outings, high pitch counts, a lot of base traffic. Doesn't give up a whole lot of earned runs. But in that game last night against the Phillies, they were ultra aggressive. They didn't have a whole lot of patience, and he had them chasing. So give Phillies a pat on the back. They helped him out a lot. But give Senga some credit. The ghost fork and his fastball. It's 97. He's hitting a hit 97 a bunch of times last night. So he was he was on point. He was getting the Phillies to chase, but the Phillies weren't doing him any. The Phillies were not doing themselves any favors by just chasing at everything. As soon as there's 2 strikes, they're just like swinging at gnats, man. It was something else. So Senga looked absolutely fantastic. So did Ranger Suarez. To be 100% honest with you, Ranger Suarez looked really, really good. A nice outing for him. I don't know if that's his 3rd start of the season or not. I think going in, he only had 11 innings pitched, so I think that was his 3rd start. Coming back from I think injury a couple weeks ago. So yeah. I lost my train of thought. That happens. Adam Glenn says, you need a new nickname for the wrestling show. No, we don't, Adam Glenn. No, we don't. Well, for Ranger Suarez, all he had one mistake, and that was to Lindor. Besides that, Ranger Suarez was fantastic. So the Mets losing 10-7 to the Rockies. Verlander, not very good at all. They lit him up. They're up 6-0 by the 3rd inning on Justin Verlander. Alonso hit his 20th home run in the 6th. Beatty and Marte, a couple RBIs, made it 6-3. Then Francisco Alvarez, who's been absolutely clutch. It seems like whenever there's 2 guys on base and the Mets are down 3, the dude just gets up and it's coming. He's going to tie it up. So he struggled last night against the Phillies, but against the Rockies, fantastic. A 3-run home run, ties it up at 6 in the 6th. You felt like the momentum is turned. The Mets are going to take this game, but it wasn't meant to be. Marte gave the Mets a lead in the 7th with an RBI, and then the Rockies just didn't look back. Rockies went ahead in the 7th and put it away in the 8th with a couple more RBIs from McMahon. He had a 2-run shot. I think he had a couple home runs against the Mets throughout that series. He was killer, McMahon. Speaking of wrestling, McMahon. So then we looking for the series win there against the Rockies. We come into the next game, and it didn't happen. Mets lose 11-10, lose another series to a team that's supposed to be inferior. And I'll tell you what, Coors Field was lively that series. I mean, balls were just flying out of there. Hits aplenty. I know Nimmo had a few triples. Like I said, with Francisco Alvarez had a couple home runs. Alonso had a couple home runs. McMahon had a couple home runs for the Rockies. It was the ball was flying out of Coors Field over the weekend. I was camping, so I didn't get a chance to watch any of the games, but I kept running in my truck, turning on Sirius XM and listening to it for a couple minutes, and it's no way to live. It's no way to live. So anyway, 11-10 loss versus the Rockies. Tyler McGill, another horrid start. 4 innings pitched, 10 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. So I guess you can say he kind of scattered 10 hits, but 10 hits through 4 innings, not very good. The earned runs could have been a lot worse. Nogosek, 1 inning pitch, 5 earned runs. That's no good either. There's a couple defensive miscues. One big one is for whatever reason, Buck had Starling Marte start center field, and he DH'd Nimmo to give Nimmo a day off from the field. And because Nimmo's just balls to the wall all the time, so you get banged up. He's diving and constantly 150% running and stuff like that. So I understand DHing Nimmo, but why Marte in center field, who hasn't played center field in a few years? But anyway, there was a ball hit to center field, bases loaded. He just misses it. He doesn't get to it, and so some of the experts were saying, if Nimmo's there, maybe Nimmo gets to it. Maybe Nimmo's able to read it quicker off the bat. So I don't know. Marte just barely missed it. It might even, I think, if I remember correctly, he might even hit his glove, the very tip of it. So, but that clears the bases, and that opens it up pretty good there for Colorado. Well, actually, we got Colorado back into the game. The Mets were up 6-2 in the fourth with RBIs from Tommy Pham, Escobar, who's been hitting much better, and another three-run home run by Francisco Alvarez. So then it was 6-2. Then there's a three-run double by McMahon. That was the bases clearing double that Marte just missed. That tied it up at 6 in the fourth, and the Rockies added 5 more in the fifth. The Mets were able to claw back in. Lindor had a home run in the seventh. Pham and Beatty added a couple RBIs in the ninth, made it 11-10, and the Mets just couldn't find any more of that comeback magic. So it's another series loss for the Mets. Huge bummer. They get the day off on Monday. They come back Tuesday against the Phillies. Great win. I love it. I love it. I love it when the Mets beat the Phillies. I don't hate the Phillies. I hate the Braves, but the Phillies are division rivals, so I don't like the Phillies. And this Mets team feels to me this season, it kind of feels a lot like last year's Phillies team, where there's no consistency, throughout the lineup. You have all these big bats, and they're kind of trying to find their footing. Well, then they start finding their footing, start crushing the ball, kind of like the Phillies were doing last year, probably in May and June. But then the bullpen lets them down, or the starting pitching lets them down. But then, come like July, August, all of a sudden things start clicking. They start winning, a lot of games in clumps, 4, 5, 6 games in a row, lose a game or two, win another 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row, lose, 2. So it kind of feels like that to me. The Mets defense is better, I think, than the Phillies defense, but than last season. But it just feels almost like, it has that kind of feel to me. The Phillies kind of lingered around the Mets and the Braves last year, didn't really sniff the division lead at all, but they kind of hung around. They're, of course, in the wild card mix, all season, but they caught fire at the right time. The starting pitching started clicking at the right time. The bullpen got hot at the right time, a couple moves at the trade deadline, and all of a sudden the Phillies are in the World Series. So, I mean, it just feels like almost the same way to me anyway. I mean, I could be way off on that, but yeah, I don't know. Max Scherzer returning to form. I just have that feeling. His last few starts, he's looked really, really good. I feel like he's starting to pitch like he did last season. He pitched, fantastic last year until he kind of petered out at the end. But Scherzer's last 3 starts, 18 innings pitched, only 11 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, which is huge because earlier in the season he's walking a lot of guys, and 19 strikeouts and 18 innings pitched. So he's been on point, and even that game, I think it was a game he got lit up. He got pulled out pretty early, and the game before that, he even pitched really, really well. He gave up one run or no runs. I can't remember exactly what it was. I should have wrote it down. That's why I take notes, because I cannot remember shit. You hate the Phillies. All Philly fans don't watch the Batcave. Well, it's not the Phillies show. If the Phillies fans want to watch a Phillies show, then they can watch Big Mike's 4for4 Locker Room podcast tomorrow night, or they could watch the Sully Squad. It's not all Phillies, but they do talk a lot of Phillies there. So Phillies fans have options here. Dave Yarnell says, "What's up with Carlos Carrasco? ERA over 6. Wow. he had a couple rough starts early in the season before he got hurt, and he came back and got roughed up again. And then his last start, he pitched pretty well against the Cubs. 1 earned run over 6 2/3. So don't know kind of which Carlos Carrasco the Phillies are going to see here, but it could be the Carlos Carrasco that gives up 1 earned run, or it's going to be the Carlos Carrasco that gives up 6 earned runs. I know which one the Phillies fans want to see, but I know which one I want to see. So yeah, like I said, Scherzer, last 3 starts, looking really, really good. Kind of returning to form. So that's good to see. Hopefully Verlander kind of follows in his footsteps and kind of gets his old ass back in gear. And there it is, the Verlander roller coaster. So like I was saying earlier about Justin Verlander, it's so up and down with him. Like you'll get one game where he's going 8 innings, no earned runs, looking fantastic. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, whatever. And then the next start he comes out, it's 5 earned runs through 4 or 5 innings, and it's 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. It's so up and down with Verlander so far. I don't think we've gotten back-to-back solid starts out of him yet. And you just hope, he's been around such a long time, that you hopefully, he figures it out sooner rather than later. A wily veteran like himself, multiple Cy Youngs, MVP, multiple world championships. You hope he figures it out pretty quickly. He should. But this is a roller coaster I don't like going on. Kind of feels like one of those wooden roller coasters there at Knobel's amusement resort there in central Pennsylvania. The wooden roller coaster knocks your ass around, and it's a lot of fun. But getting to that fun part where you're getting to the top and coming down, you're getting knocked around, and ribs are starting to hurt a little bit, back and neck hurt, and the pregnant lady just had a kid next to you. It's terrible. Eileen, what's up? Eileen says, morning. It's kind of crazy. This is the first time the Mets and Phillies played each other this year. I know. I was thinking that last night when I was watching it. I think by this time last season, they already had like 12 games in the books. Yeah, it is insane. I like it to a point. I wish there was more divisional games already earlier in the season, but that leads to more divisional games at the end of the season, when it really counts. So Dave Yarnell says, I see he is starting against the Phils tonight. Yep. Nola versus Carrasco. Aaron Nola, he's been up and down also, 4.59 ERA. So, and usually the Mets, do fairly well against Nola. Dugout mug. So usually the Mets do fairly well against Aaron Nola. But it's just one start, and you never know. You can get that. He's another guy that's he's such a good pitcher that you're just waiting for him to turn it on, to turn it around, and return to form where he's throwing 7 innings pitch, 1 or 2 earned runs, back to what Aaron Nola can do. Kodai Senga dominates the Phillies last night. 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no walks, which is huge for Kodai Senga. Like I said earlier when Joe Sullivan was commenting, no walks for Kodai Senga is absolutely outstanding. 9 strikeouts, 100 pitches. I'll take that all day with Kodai Senga, all day. That's kind of like the Kodai Senga that a lot of the Mets fans thought we were going to get. We didn't know what the hell we were going to get. Who knows? We're not watching, games from Japan and stuff like that, but you hear a lot of stuff. You see the highlights, you read the stats and stuff like that. And that's the Kodai Senga that I was reading stats on, that I was talking about when the Mets made the move and signed Kodai Senga. He just looked fantastic. And like I said, the Phillies helped him out a lot by chasing a lot of balls out of the zone. And the Phillies are struggling right now. So, it's a great time to kind of jump on them a little bit and hopefully get a couple wins out of the series. Out of the Box Sports Entertainment says huge start for Nola. And our boy Cowboy Dave says, yeah, the Mets do hit Nola pretty well. They have in the past, but the past is the past. You know what I mean? It's, like my buddy Big Mike on 4for4 Locker Room Podcast likes to say, it's 86 and forever for the Mets. That's all we got to hang on to here. 86 and forever. So the past is the past, and the Mets hit Nola well, but all it takes is one start. So Dave says Phils didn't even reach second base last night. No, and JT tried stealing second base in the eighth inning, and he was thrown out by Francisco Alvarez, who, like I said, didn't do well at the plate. I think he was 0 for 4 with a couple strikeouts, 2 or 3 strikeouts, but a huge throw out against with JT stealing, who's terrific base stealer for a catch, not just for a catcher, but for anybody. I think believes like a 20-20 guy, which you don't see much of anymore. 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases. I could be making that up. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that JT is a 20-20 guy, but a super athletic JT, best catcher in the league, in my opinion. And we all know what my opinion counts for. So, all right, we'll move on to Vogelbach. Oh, Daniel freaking Vogelbach. Vogelbach. I can't stand it. It drives me nuts watching that man get up there and watch pitch after pitch go by. At least he swung the freaking bat last night. Why he's pinch hitting for the Mets in the ninth inning is beyond me. Or was it the eighth inning? In the eighth inning. Why he's up there pinch hitting is absolutely mind-boggling. Why? Why just leave Vientos in? Yeah, he wasn't doing anything, but give the young guy the at-bats. We already know what Daniel Vogelbach's doing. He's struggling so bad. He's hitting, I think, like 170, 180 or something like that in the month of May. Overall, hitting in the low 200s. He hasn't produced anything. It's frustrating as shit as a Mets fan watching that guy get up there. Just watch the freaking pitches go by. I watched an at bat where I don't remember who was. It might have been against the Cubs. I don't know. It was 3 strikes, and he just watched all 3 without even swinging the bat. It's like, swing the fucking bat, dude. Swing the bat. Sling it. It's just up there chewing his gum, and the shirt's too tight. I said that last year. You think somebody would, anyway, I think the Vogelbach thing is done. It should be done. We have Vientos. Let him strike out instead of Vogelbach. At least he's going to swing the goddamn bat. Vientos should be getting more at bats anyway. Young guy, you brought him up for a reason. It shouldn't be righty lefty. Just let him swing the fucking bat against righties, lefties. It doesn't matter. Side arms, up arms, down arms, whatever. Underhand, overhand, up. I don't care. Put Vientos in. Anyway, I think Vogelbach should be done in New York. I sent him down to AAA with David Peterson. I don't care what they do with him. DFA him. Send him to Binghamton. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Send him to Oakland. That's where they should send him. I'm done with the Vogelbach thing. His shirt's tight. I mean, as a bigger guy, it doesn't look comfortable. Is that why he's not swinging the bat? Is he afraid of the bottom of his belly is going to show? I mean, I don't get it. Swing the bat. Vogelback. He's going to give me a heart attack. Eileen says he just brings nothing to the table. Nothing. He brings nothing to the table. And if there's stuff at the table, he's not swinging at it. Cowboy Dave says can't be any worse than Schwarber. And I'll tell you what. I don't understand the infatuation with Kyle the Phillies fans have with Kyle Schwarber. Yeah, he hits some monster home runs. You know, I get it. That part of it. But the dude is hitting something. He's hitting like 170, 180. Kyle Schwarber. I mean, what the hell is that? I don't understand. Like, you know, I don't hear. Maybe I'm missing it, but I don't hear any boos or anything. The dude is hitting something. I mean, I granted he's not going to win batting titles, but you know, I don't hear any. I haven't heard any Philly fans calling for the Phillies to bench Schwarber or trade Schwarber or what's wrong with Schwarber. I don't hear anything like that. I don't understand why there's not more angst or attitude about Kyle Schwarber not hitting, because he's not. That surprises me a lot with Philly fans, because Philly fans are super passionate, and if you're going to stink, they're going to let you know. Even if you're a superstar, they let you know. You know, Michael Jack Schmidt, greatest Philly of all time, they let him know when he was stinking it up. It doesn't seem like they let Kyle Schwarber know when he's stinking it up. He's stinking it up. So Eileen says it was fun while it lasted. I don't know when it was. There was a little bit of fun in the beginning. Yeah, last year at the trade deadline, it was a little bit fun. Then you can kind of see by the end of the season kind of what it was progressing to, and it was already frustrating for me last year watching him not swing the bat. That's what you get paid to do, is swing the freaking bat. That's all. He doesn't have the field. He doesn't have to. He just swings the bat. And he's not doing it. Vogelback is going to give me a heart attack. Heart attack, Vogelback. I really think I'm going to write a letter to the Mets, to Uncle Steve Cohen. I'm going to tell him, say, get Vogelback a bigger shirt. I think he's afraid to swing the bat because he's afraid his shirt's going to come untucked and the bottom of his belly is going to show. I think that's it. Honestly, I really do think that's it. And I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this fixed. I'm going to get this fixed. Vogelback going to be hitting 300 by the end of the season with a one more X up. It doesn't have to be a whole lot bigger. He looks like he's probably wearing a 3. Well, he looks like he's wearing a 2X. He should be wearing a 3X. To be honest with you, he's a pretty thick dude. He got some thicker arms, so maybe go to 4X just to give him a little bit more room. But the dude is wearing a 2X, and he's the next shorter than he should be. Anyway, Starling Marte and Eduardo Escobar starting to turn a corner a little bit. Marte finding a little bit more consistency at the plate, getting on base a little bit more, starting to steal some bases again, which I like to see. I was counting on Starling Marte to be a little bit more consistent at the plate. That's something I talked about when I was doing my preseason stuff. I felt like Marte could take a step forward to what it was last year. I don't remember what it was. I think he hit 280 last year with 16 home runs and 50 or 60 RBI. I was hoping closer to 20. It didn't have to be 20, but the RBI total a little bit higher. The average maybe a little bit higher, but whatever. Dave Yarnell says, can the Mets bring back Darryl? They should bring back Bobby Bonilla because they're still paying his ass. That's who they should bring back. They're paying the guy. Get him out there doing something, selling hot dogs or something. You're paying him. Have him picking up trash or painting the seats or something. I don't know. washing, Mr. Mets pants. I don't, they're paying Bobby Bonilla. He should be doing something. I think Bobby Bonilla Day is coming up pretty soon. I think that hasn't happened yet this year. I don't think. But Eduardo Escobar, he's been really impressive lately. I don't know why he's starting at third base. I don't know why. I don't understand why Brett Beatty isn't starting every day at third base. You could put Escobar at second base, move Jeff McNeil out to left field. But for some reason they're sitting Brett Beatty against lefties. Put him in the lineup. Let him hit against lefties and righties. I don't understand it. Buck is so stuff that worked out for Buck last year to get him the manager of the year and the Mets 100 wins and all this other blah, 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 blah. Stuff that worked out for Buck last year is not working out for Buck this year. It's not. It's his little moves, where he's the smartest man out there. They're not working this year, for whatever reason. So it's kind of go against that then, Buck, and try something else. Leave Beatty in. Move Escobar to second base. But anyway, I'm getting off subject here. Vogelback shirt has me all flustered. So I feel like Escobar, he's been hitting the ball really, really hard. He's been getting on base a lot. Even when he gets out, the ball's hit hard. Stuff that you like to see. Even if he can become like a fraction of what he was a few seasons ago. I talked about this earlier in the preseason stuff when I was talking about his decline. If you look at his stats, he's been on a steady decline since his peak season where he had 30+ home runs. And even if he's a fraction of that, if he's able to get to 20 home runs and hit 270, you take that in a heartbeat. But he was falling fast here earlier in the season where, we're talking about, just release him, just get rid of him, open up a spot for one of the kids. And now with him hitting, actually doing what we're paying him to do, it's going to be a lot harder to get rid of him. It's going to be, and they shouldn't get rid of him if he's playing, up to what he should be doing. There's no reason why they should get rid of him. Because he's not a bad player. He's a decent fielder, and he could play multiple positions. Like I said, third base, second base, and he can do them both well. He plays a pretty good third base, but he also plays a decent second base, and I just think that Beatty should be starting at third base every day. Maybe an occasional day off, but he's a young guy. There's no reason he needs a day off. He's young. He's still 22, 23 years. Why do you need a day off? It's like Brandon Nimmo, DH. I already talked about that. Whatever. Anyway. So I feel like Marte and Escobar are starting to turn the corner, playing much, much better. And kind of makes you feel better. The whole lineup, I feel like, is playing better. Starting lineup is playing better and starting to hit the ball more, getting on base more. I still want to see Brandon Nimmo take more walks. He's not walking nearly as much as he was last season. But he's still hitting, I believe, over 300 still. But it's just, I'd like to see Nimmo, take more walks. He's being ultra aggressive. I don't know if that's a strategy that he has with the new batting coach. I think Eric Chavez got promoted to bench coach. So I don't remember who the new batting coach is this year. I did talk about it a couple months ago. You'll have to go back in the archives or Google. So before we move on to the next topic, I'm going to go ahead and hit the old sponsor layout here. There it is. Monkey Colt Coffee. The evolution of flavor-infused coffee. You can get a Monkey Colt Coffee at monkeycoltcoffee.com. The bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee, again, like I say every week, fantastic. But even better, that toasted coconut rum. Just the smell alone. You open that bag and whew, the smell alone is worth it. But then you actually try it. It's, very very flavorful, very good. Also on their website, they have shirts, mugs, coffee mugs, tumblers, the cold brew pitcher, K-cup adapter. I have the tumbler, the cold brew pitcher, which is the cold brew pitcher is fantastic. It's super easy to use. They actually have a video on their Facebook page. I'm sure it's on their Twitter page also, or on their website, how to use it. I was going way overboard with the coffee when I was making mine. I mean, no wonder I was all wired for like 2 or 3 days, after using it. But they show you step by step how to use it. Great instructions. Like I said, monkeycoldcoffee.com. And when you're checking out, use the promo code OOTB Sports for 10% off. And also, for every sale, owner Matt of Monkey Cold Coffee donates 10% to the National Pediatric Foundation at nationalpcf.org. Their mission is we lost someone very close to us to cancer in 2019. Robin Ray Larson, our cult made it our personal mission to honor and remember her by helping others. For every bag of Monkey Cold Coffee sold, we will be making a donation to the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation in her name. So help the kids out also. Get yourself some Monkey Cold Coffee. Check out their swag. And tell them the Bat Fry sent you from the Bat Cave. Monkey Cold Coffee. Terrific stuff. I'm not even bullshitting you. I really, really dig that coffee. I said this last episode that I'm out of coffee. I got to order more, and I just haven't done it yet. So we're going to head into the next 7 for the Mets. I love this thing. Dugout mugs. I got a whole bunch of them behind me there. You can see them on the shelf right there. Some dugout mugs. I have a little knob. The what I think they call it the knob shots. It's the knob of the bat, hollowed out. It's a little shot glass. That's pretty cool. I love dugout mugs. Fantastic. So next 7 for the Mets. Here we go. Phillies again tonight. Nola versus Carrasco. Nola 4-3, the 4.59 ERA against Cookie Carrasco 1-2 with a 6.75 ERA. Like I said, Carrasco's last time out, 1 earned run, 6 2/3 innings pitched. So Jekyll and Hyde Carrasco here. Who are we gonna get? That's a huge question. I love it when the Mets and Phillies play. It's always exciting. No matter what happens. Dave Yarnell says, gotta love Bobby Bonilla Day. No, we don't gotta love Bobby Bonilla Day. We don't gotta. I'm telling you, they should put an usher uniform on his ass and get his ass out there and work. You know what? Then the other ushers will be pissed off that he's getting paid a lot more. But you know what? There has to be something the dude can do. A valet service. Maybe he could be a valet. Or you could, I don't see very many bullpen cars anymore. I don't think they do that much, but maybe get a bullpen car, have them drive, our bullpen that's getting their nuts slapped every time they go out there. Maybe have them drive them back and forth. Maybe they're exerting too much energy. That could be it. Maiko Spencer. What's up, Bat Fry? What's up, Maiko? Your boy Kodai Senga shut the Phils down last night. How'd the Braves do? They chop last night against the Oakland Athletics. Oh, I'm sure they beat. Yeah, I'm sure they beat the Oakland Athletics. Oakland, I think they had 10, 12 wins maybe, Oakland Athletics. So, yeah, I'm sure the Braves probably chopped them up. Yeah. I'm sure that's what it – no? I don't – let's see. Michael Spencer, A's going to the World Series 2 in a row over the Braves. What? Braves season over. No chop chop. What happened? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut. That's all you got to look at that one. I'll tell you what, that was I watched the highlight of the play. What was it, to Austin Riley at third base? I think it was with bases loaded. I don't know. I guess he didn't play the bounce right. Maybe he should have charged it. Bases loaded. I don't know. Then he kind of fumbled it and fired it home, and was just late, which gave the A's the walk-off win. But it's a couple different ways that play probably could have been played, but it is what it is. Whatever. How about them A's? LOL, Dave Yarnell says. The soon-to-be Las Vegas Athletics. Speaking of which, you check me out Saturday night on the Vegas sports scene. And I'm sure I'll be talking about the Las Vegas Athletics, the shitheads, playing like garbage this year. But like I said, I think I said this. Did I say this last Saturday? I don't remember if I was on last Saturday or not. But the Oakland Athletics, pretty much just did the same exact thing with the movie Major League. The lady in the movie Major League did. The owner of the Indians, the Cleveland Indians, in the movie Major League, tanked it. Was trying to tank it so she can move that team to Miami. But there's no Jake Taylors or Ricky Vaughns or Pedro Serranos on the Oakland Athletics. So that's the only difference. They don't have those guys there to turn it around or a Lou Brown to manage them. But, the owner of the Athletics is doing the same thing as what was her name? Rachel something or other. I don't remember what her name is. Maiko says, it's all Dave Yarnell's fault. He jinxed him. Shush, Dave. Damn. Shushed him. All right, so today we got Nola Carrasco. Then on what's today? Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday we have former Met Taijuan Walker against Max Scherzer. Taijuan Walker 4-2 with a 5.57 ERA, and Scherzer's 4-2 with a 3.54 ERA. One of the things I said about Taijuan Walker, I said I felt like the Phillies were getting a pretty decent number 4, number 5 starter. I guess hasn't panned out all that well yet. Usually the first half of the season is his better half. And so maybe he's just saving it for the second half this year. I don't know. But he's not a terrible pitcher. I would have rathered him, still be with the Mets and David Peterson jerking games away everywhere. So that's the series finale against the Phillies. Then we have Toronto coming into Citi Field. And we face another former Met pitcher from last season, Chris Bassitt, who I begged and pleaded, Mets, please sign Chris Bassitt. Please sign Chris Bassitt. And they didn't. They did not. So now he's in Toronto, and he'll be pitching against Verlander on Friday. Bassett's 5-4 with a 3.80 ERA. Verlander 2-2 with a 4.80 ERA. Cowboy Dave says, LOL, go A's, after he jinxed them. It was a plan. Then they face Berrios on 6-3, and he's 5-4 with a 3.86 ERA against Tyler McGill, who hopefully can have a bounce-back game. He's 5-3 with a 4.67 ERA. Then on June 4th, I don't even know how to say his last name. Kikuchi goes for Toronto. I think that's right. It sounds right. Kikuchi. I like that. Kikuchi. Kikuchi goes for Toronto on the 4th. He's 6-2 with a 4.47 ERA against our boy Kodai Senga. Like I said about Kodai, if he can keep the walks down, he's fine. He does not give up a whole lot of runs. but just, the walks, it's the constant traffic on the base paths. And you see what he could do last night if there are no walks, 7 innings, 1 hit, no walks, 9 Ks, beautiful. Easily his best start as a Met. I shouldn't say easily. He did have I think he had an 8-inning game a few weeks ago where he gave up 1 earned run. But anyway, so yeah, Kikuchi versus Senga, and then we head to Atlanta. We head to Atlanta for another big series, and the first game of that series is Carrasco versus Elder. I'm not going to say their records or ERAs because they're going to change by then. So yeah, June 6th, Carrasco and Elder, the Braves in Atlanta. Will be in hot Atlanta. June 6th. Good stuff. So that's the Metropolitans' next 7. So we'll move on to the NL East standings. Current standings. Oh, let me readjust here. I'm starting to slide out of my rocking chair. That's why I got a rocking chair here. I don't have a regular computer chair. I have a rocking chair like an old lady. So the standings as they currently sit, let me pull them up here. You can see them scrolling at the bottom there. Of course, you have the Braves in first place at 32-23. Their last 10, the Braves are 4-6 in their last 10. They lost 2 in a row, like we said earlier, to the Athletics. Again, a blind squirrel finds a nut occasionally, or something that constitutes a nut, or something nutty-ish, or something that they perceive to be a nut, but it's not quite a nut. Maybe it's like a pebble or a rock, but he found it. So he gets credit for it. But anyway, I'm getting off subject there. Sitting in second place of the Mets, 28-27. 4 games back, 6-4 in their last 10 on a 1-game winning streak. Then you have the Marlins, same record. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They lost yesterday. Then you have the Phillies sitting at 25-29, 6.5 games back. So as shitty as it's been for the Phillies, I mean, only 6.5 back. It's not that big of a deal with a whole lot of baseball. We're only a third of the way through the season. I know. I can tell you right now, the Mets and Phillies did not expect them to be sitting where they're sitting right now, a third of the way through the season. They expected their records to be much better. I think especially the Phillies. The Mets, maybe a few games better, but the Phillies, I guarantee you, they thought their record would be reversed, 29-25. But again, it's a third of the way through. There's still a lot of baseball to go yet. So they're 6.5 out. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They've lost 2 in a row now. Then rounding out the bottom there, we have the Nationals, 23-32, sitting 9 games back, 5-5 in their last 10. They've lost 3 in a row. So kind of where we thought they would be. The Marlins are the ones that are kind of surprising a little bit. Sitting there tied for second place, but again, 1 game over 500. I expected the Marlins to be kind of hovering around 500 anyway. So Maiko says, I can't wait. June 16th, Cardinals versus Mets. Oh, wait. No. June 16th, a special birthday or just something bigger that night. I can't remember. Old age. It is Paul's birthday, but there is something bigger on June 16th. You're right. The Flash is released on June 16th. The new DC movie, some Batman. Michael Keaton returns as the Batman. Ben Affleck returns as the Batman. Beautiful. Oh, no, there's something else also. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, the Atomic Drop podcast. Myself and Cowboy Dave talking old school and current WWE product. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have fun with it. And Maiko turns, I believe, 60. Eileen says sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Yeah, sometimes it's it's a pebble, but what are you gonna do? Eileen says it's Maiko's 25th birthday. Yeah, right. Leap year. So before we head on to the next topic, I want to hit the old sponsor train again to our boy Jay Feinlaw, attorney Big Al. You can reach Big Al at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. They deal with motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims. You can call Jason 24/7 directly at 267-962-4895 or our boy Maiko Spencer at 267-303-7324 for a free consultation. They now have 3 office locations. Count them. Not 1, not 2, but 3 office locations throughout Pennsylvania and the Garden State, New Jersey. First location, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120, in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The phone number there is 267-888-2980. The other Pennsylvania location in the Steel City, gritty Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That location is 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The number there, 412-365-8151. And finally, last but not least, New Jersey location in Cherry Hill, New Jersey at 3 Greensward Lane, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The number there, 856-209-5258. Attorney Big Al, Jay Feinlaw. Tell him the Bat Fry sent you. Jay Fine. I like it. Big Al. Before I move on to the next topic, I'm going to hit one more up here. The Not Your Average Jane softball team that I happen to coach. 14U softball travel team. Looking for donations. If you're willing to donate anything, $5, $10, $100, $1 million would be helpful. Costs of everything is going up. Tournament fees are go up. Equipment, softballs, like I've mentioned a million times, are astronomical. It's insane how expensive softballs are now. They're like gold. After a tournament, I send my 4-year-old out to the mound where the ball sits to grab the ball because nobody's going to take a ball from a 4-year-old. So I got maybe another year or so of him getting away with that before they start chasing him. So if you want to help us out, the Not Your Average Janes in the wintertime, we practice indoors, so that costs money as well. And we like to try to keep the cost down for our parents so it's affordable for their girls to play. Insurance costs go up every year. So whatever you can do, any little bit helps. You could send me a message or Maiko Spencer, and we'll send you the Venmo handle to help out the Not Your Average Janes 14U softball team. Hey, it's me again. I got a comment here from Maiko. Maiko says, flip that number, Eileen. So he must be 52, not 25. I could have swore it was in the 60s. But, you know how I am with forgetting things. I'm going to hit this dugout mug one more time. All right, power ranking time. Got to pull my power rankings up. Got a special setup here for our power rankings. Our boy Maiko Spencer hooked me up. Check this out. Bam! Look at that. Fantastic. I got them written down here. So, all right. I'm going to start off with, even though you can see them, I'm still going to count them down there. I'm going to start off at 10. We got the Brew Crew struggling to stay in our top 10 here, barely making it. 28-26, they're leading the Central Division in the National League, and the National League Central Division is a lot like the American League Central Division, where it's all muddled up. Nobody's overly good, nobody's terrible. So all season it's going to be like this, I believe, where it's anybody's division. From the Cubs, who are I'm not sure how many games back, but playing awful baseball right now. They still have a shot at it. To the Cardinals, who are a really good team, I'm surprised they're sitting where they're sitting. The Pirates, who started out hot, kind of falling back in the pack. And the who else we got in that division? Pirates, Brewers, Cubs, Cardinals. I guess that's it. I don't remember. Anyway, so the Brewers sitting at 10. They were 9 last week, so they dropped. Number 9, I put the old Anaheim Angels, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, I think they're called. I don't remember if that's their exact name or not. They're 29-26. They were not ranked before. They got some really good talent on that team. That's somebody who, when I did my preseason breakdowns of all the divisions, I said the Angels are a team to watch. They could make a run at the West, maybe not overtake Houston, but maybe slip in through the wild card. I had them sitting at 9. They weren't ranked last week or 2 weeks ago. I'm doing biweekly. Number 8, I have the Houston Astros. They've been playing much better. You knew the Astros weren't going to play terrible all season. Well, they weren't playing terrible earlier, but they just weren't playing up to snuff. You knew they were going to come around. They're just too good, too many weapons. In the pitching, starting pitching, bullpen, lineup is too good. They're sitting at 8 right now, 31-22, up a couple spots from 10. Number 7, I have the Arizona Diamondbacks sitting at 31-23. They're ahead of schedule a little bit there. I was saying they're probably going to sit around 500, maybe a little bit better than 500 when I did my divisional breakdowns. They're playing much better than expected right now. Young team, so what happens sometimes, young team kind of peters out a little bit. They do the hot start, and they kind of hit a little bit of a lull in the dog days, kind of come back down to earth. So we'll see what happens with Arizona, see if they're able to do that. Last year they started off terrible, finished pretty strong. So we'll see if Arizona can keep this pace going. Last week they were 6, so they dropped 1 spot. Number 6, I have the Braves at 32-22. Braves just kind of, just going along steady. They lost a couple to Oakland. When I did the power rankings, they didn't lose last night. If I would have done the power rankings after the Braves lost, I would have dropped their asses out for losing 2 in a row to Oakland. Oakland got a quarter of their wins against the Braves in those 2 wins. They were ranked 4th 2 weeks ago, so they dropped a couple spots. Number 5, I have the Yankees, 33-23. Yankees playing fantastic baseball. The AL East is just insane how good it is. Aaron Judge has been on a tear since coming back from being injured. The pitching staff is getting healthy. The Yankees are getting healthy overall. I hope they pick Gary Sanchez back up. No, I think Gary Sanchez did sign somewhere. I don't remember where it was. I think somewhere out west. So the Yankees have 5. They were 8, so they jumped up a couple spots. Number 4, the Texas Rangers, 35-19, playing fantastic. That's a team that I did say I felt like they could make a run at Houston. Maybe contend for the AL West, and right now they're leading the AL West by a couple games. As hot as as Houston has been, Texas is still keeping pace. So and all this without DeGrom. They're big one of their big offseason acquisitions. Jacob deGrom, he's been out hurt. They said he could return probably in a couple weeks, but who the hell knows with that guy? It's a shame. It really is a shame because could be easily the best pitcher in the league year in and year out, but this injuries have just really, really put his career in a holding pattern. You would have said surefire Hall of Famer. Now it's, well, we'll have to wait and see. Number 3, I have the Orioles, 35-20, still playing, great baseball. I'm surprised. I thought they would have petered out by now, but I wonder where that came from. Petered out. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna have to Google that, where that saying came from. I had them ranked at 3 2 weeks ago. Number 2, the LA Dodgers. They're still playing well. 33-22. I had them ranked 2 weeks ago. And number 1, of course, the Tampa Bay Rays, 39-17. Best record in baseball. So that makes it a lot easier. Best record by a few games. It's not like best record by a game or a half a game. Best record by a few games. So they get the top spot in the old Bat Fry power rankings. They will be getting a medal and a call from the president. Excuse me. Head to these comments here. Here we go. A little bit behind the comments. Maiko says, geez, Ken, 60s. Geez. Well, I don't know, buddy. I did see you had a beard there last time I seen you, and there was a lot of gray in that beard. I mean, I have a lot of gray in mine, but yours was mostly gray. Michael says, I do great graphics for a 60-year-old. Absolutely. Look at that. Look, fantastic. It says, where are my Mets? 28-27. Maybe next week. I'll tell you what, if they can make a run here over the next 7 days until I come back on next week. Well, actually, it's 2 weeks before I do my next power rankings. Maybe they will be there. Maybe we'll crack the top 10. They do have a soft spot in my heart, and if it's a close one where I'm like, do I keep the Brewers in? Do I keep the Mets are going to be in? So if they're even a little bit close, they'll be in. Our boy Amish Country Mets fan. The Pirates were always frauds. Yeah, I agree. They have some pretty good young talent in a couple spots, but you just didn't you didn't think they were going to be able to keep that pace up, especially for not as bad as they've played the past few seasons with those same guys. So it just doesn't it wouldn't make sense for them to turn a corner where they didn't really add anything. There it is. I forgot the Reds. How could I do that? They would they sweep us or they took 2 of 3? Anyway, they beat us. I think it was 2 weeks ago. So another. The Mets seem to play down. They play down the competition. I know the Phillies are 25-29, so you could play down, but it's a division rival, so it's a little bit different. But it seems like they really play down the competition. It's really frustrating watching them lose series to the Cubs, to the Reds, to the Rockies. It's just these should be wins that they should be able to stack and kind of help them along, but they're really faltering here with that. This is the Padres. The Padres are getting hot. They're that's where Gary Sanchez went. You're right, but the Padres are getting hot. Their bats are anyway are starting to get pretty hot, and they're starting to knock the ball out of the ballpark a lot. But yeah, Gary Sanchez is their problem now. I was watching something on the TikTok last night. I think it was like the laziest major league plays over the last couple of years or whatever. And one was Gary Sanchez. The pitch was, it wasn't a great pitch, but it wasn't a pitch where you'd have to go down and block, but he just missed it. He missed it completely. Hit him in the leg and went rolling up the third base line. And there's a guy on third. He kind of nonchalantly takes a light jog over. And no, actually, the guy was on second base. He runs the third. That's what it was. The guy was on second. He sees the pass ball get away from Gary Sanchez. It's rolling up the third base line in foul territory. So he goes sprinting to third base. And Gary Sanchez is like, well, I'm going to take a little stroll over here to get the ball, nice and easy. And the guy takes home on him. I mean, like what the hell are you doing? Get to the freaking ball, man. I don't know how that guy still has a job. How's he finding employment in the major league? I don't understand it. So our boy Amish Country Mets fan, he'll be on with me here on the Bat Cave next Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. So make sure you guys tune in and check it out. I'm a Mets fan. I know I know enough about the Mets. Amish Country Mets fan is a Mets fanatic. He knows a lot about the Mets. He knows the ins and the outs, all that good stuff. And so I can't wait to have him on next Wednesday at 10 a.m. And he'll be spitting knowledge, no doubt. Maiko says, after that comment, no more graphics for the Bat Cave. Dropping my Braves. Well, they lost, I didn't know they lost the second one, or I would have dropped them even further, but I hate the Braves. I mean, they're lucky they're even in the top 10, to be honest with you. No, the Braves are a good team. I just hate the Braves. I mean, it is what it is. It's like with the NFL, I hate the Broncos. I just hate the Broncos so much. Like, just thinking about it, it's like, it makes the hairs on my neck stand up. And there's hairs there. There's a lot of hairs on the back of my back and my neck, and they stand up when the Broncos. That's how I am with the Braves. And I'll tell you what, I respect the hell out of Chipper Jones and, Greg Maddux, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. Tom Glavine came to the Mets, pitched well for the Mets. I respect the hell out of those guys, but John Smoltz, but I hate the Braves. Hate David Justice for some reason. John Rocker. Oh, John Rocker. I'll tell you what. If I ever seen him in a subway, I probably wouldn't say anything to his face, because he seems like an angry, strong man. But when he walked away, oh, yeah, my mouth will be running. After the doors on the subway close and the subway's moving, I'll be talking. Yeah, he'll know. Well, he won't know because, anyway, the subway will be moving. Anyway, my nose is all stuffy here. I can't take it. It's driving me nuts. So that was my power rankings and nonsense I'm spitting out here about kicking John Rocker's ass on a subway, which would never happen. He'd take me real easy. I'm going to read off our schedule here before I pop out of here. New schedule coming up. So make sure you're checking this out right now. We have a new schedule coming up here on Out of the Box Sports. Mondays, 4 p.m., Joystick Junkies, then followed by the Sully Squad at 6 p.m., 8:30, the Big Blue Power Hour. And if you remember, the Big Blue Power Hour was on Fridays at 8 p.m. Now they'll be moving to Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m., Extra Innings. Wednesdays, the Bat Cave, 10 a.m. 8 p.m., College Football Frenzy, which will be back, I believe, next week. 9:30 p.m., Dem 215 Boys. Thursdays at 8 p.m., 4 for 4, the Locker Room Podcast with Big Mike. Fridays at 10:30 p.m., starting June 16th, the Atomic Drop Podcast. Then Saturdays at 10 p.m., the Vegas Sports Scene with myself. So yeah, make sure you're constantly checking out the schedule. More shows coming soon. UFC pay-per-view pre-show. There's a Commanders Gridiron show coming up, the Washington Commanders football team. An NFC East roundtable show coming up. Lights, Camera, Action, which is an entertainment show. Movies, TV shows. Giants, Cowboys pre- and post-game shows. Irish Notre Dame Fighting Irish football pre- and post-game shows. So a lot of great stuff coming to Out of the Box Sports. And make sure you like, follow, and smash that subscribe button. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We're also on a TikTok and Instagram. Make sure you're getting onto YouTube and subscribe. If you have to, create multiple YouTube accounts and subscribe to all those. And then, maybe even get grandma's email. Maybe use her name, make up a couple YouTube accounts and subscribe with those ones. And you know what? The hell, what your dog or your cat or some critter you have in your house, they should have a YouTube account. I don't see why not. Maybe make a couple accounts for them and hit that subscribe button. So, I mean, I've seen crazier things. I mean, I see dogs and cats all the time having Twitter handles and TikTok pages and Facebook accounts. So yeah, why not on the YouTube? Hit subscribe. Why not, right? When you're gone all day at work, your dog is laying there in your bed, humping your pillow. Put on the YouTube. Hit subscribe and hey, here's Out of the Box Sports. Here's the Bat Cave. Your dog's humping your pillow and watching the Bat Cave. Thinking of me humping the pillow. I don't know. I don't know about all that. We got a couple more comments here. Maiko Spencer, great show. As always, tonight, 9:30 p.m. Dem 215 boys. Amish Country Mets fan. When's my show going to be on? Next Wednesday, buddy. Next Wednesday. Amish Country Mets fan and the Bat Fry on the Bat Cave. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a blast. Just a couple Pennsylvania kids here talking New York Mets baseball. Actually, I think the Amish Country Mets fans, I think you're from New York, aren't you? Are you from New York? Love the show. I think for some reason I feel like you're originally from New York. I don't know. I could be thinking of something else. When I was talking about that dog humping a pillow, I kind of threw my train of thought off here. Well, I think that's all I got for today. Oh, there's one more comment. I'd give it in a second or two. Originally, yeah, that's why I thought you could hear it in your accent yet. When I'm watching your shorts, you can check the Amish Country Mets fan out. Check out his Twitter. He's on YouTube and stuff like that. Punch in with your little keypad or on your phone with your thumb. Type in Amish Country Mets fan on YouTube. Follow all of his stuff. Subscribe. He has a whole bunch of shorts and some podcasts there. So make sure you check them out. Maiko Spencer says, I hear we have a merchandise coming in a few weeks as well. All shows logos on T-shirts, hoodies, and hats. Stay tuned. A new sponsor coming up soon here to Out of the Box Sports Network, Vegas Varsity. We're going to be doing a merchandise store. So, stay tuned for that. Some really cool stuff coming out, some cool gear. So it's going to be very fashionable. Stuff you can wear to church. Maybe. And so yeah, make sure you check that stuff out. T-shirts, hats, hoodies, and all the shows will have a merch there. So if your favorite shows, the Soli Squad, bam, get yourself some Soli Squad gear. If your favorite shows the Vegas sports scene, bam, get yourself some Vegas sports scene stuff. But we all know your favorite show is the Bat Cave. So get yourself some Bat Cave stuff and strutting around the city streets with it on. People are like, hey, where'd you get that sweet Bat Cave t-shirt at? I want one. So, well, I'll tell you what. First, you got to subscribe to their YouTube channel and then then you tell them where to go. So there it is. All right, that's all I got. I'm rambling now. I don't believe there's anything else. One more thing. I'm going to show the one more time. The Atomic Drop podcast coming June 16th, 10:30 p.m. Myself and Cowboy Dave talking old school WWE and also current product. For the first show, we're going to pick a pay-per-view and we're going to talk about an old pay-per-view, and we'll talk about that as well as current WWE stuff. I already have some thoughts on some things. Dave's a huge wrestling fan, one of the biggest that I know. I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, but with me, it's I watch wrestling, I don't watch wrestling, I watch, I don't watch, I watch, I don't watch, and I'm getting back into it again. I'm really digging it. So I want to do a wrestling show with Cowboy Dave, and it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah. One more comment before we go. That's what I do. AEW pay-per-view was bad. I don't follow a whole lot of AEW, but I did see that MJF fella who's a pretty good talker. A little bit abrasive. I don't know how to get into it. MJF, I get it. You're the bad guy. You're the heel. You're trying to put asses in seats by being like super abrasive, super vulgar with the language and stuff like that. And I like language and stuff. I like like with Stone Cold. I'm gonna stomp a mud hole in your ass type of stuff, and stuff like that. But he uses the F word in the ring a lot. And it's one of the things that kind of surprised me with him. A fantastic talker. I like his whole gimmick and stuff like that. His with the whole, nobody really gave him a shot, and then he kind of, made his own chance. He went away. I guess the storyline was his contract was up, so he just kind of left, and now he came back. He's champion again. And so I was watching a press conference. I guess it was after this latest pay-per-view with AEW, him talking with Tony Khan sitting next to him, the owner of AEW, and some of the stuff he was saying to Tony. So I don't know if they're setting something up with Tony Khan and MJF, like making it seem like MJF doesn't want to be there anymore or something. I don't know. It was an interesting press conference. MJF is funny. But he uses the F word a lot. So I was really surprised by that. Eileen, she loves MJF. Yeah, the Tony Khan look was something else. Kind of, like when MJF said earmuffs, Tony, and Tony kind of like slowly looked over, like, what do you mean? And, he mentioned WWE a couple times, which was surprising, but that's kind of like one of the things I like about MJF is that there's nothing really off limits. He'll say pretty much anything about anybody. Mentioned Triple H and stuff like that. So like usually what you have is you'll have like the companies acknowledge each other, but not acknowledge each other. Like they'll say, oh, the other show, or like what did Triple H say a few years ago to was it Billy Gunn or whatever, the Flea's ass or something like that, or I don't know what it was. Basically saying that AEW was small potatoes, but without using the AEW name. But MJF doesn't care. He just says WWE, says Triple H. He uses the name, which is really surprising. But it's good. I think it's good. Good for business. It's good for him. But I don't expect him to go anywhere, to be honest with you. But I don't know enough about it. So like I said, I don't watch AEW a whole lot besides what I see on Google, because I constantly Google wrestling stuff and read up on it. And I also occasionally I'll listen to Busted Open Radio on Sirius XM because I think Bully Ray's funny. So it is what it is. All right, so that's all I got for today. I'm running out of wind here. I'm ready for bed. So I'm going to check out. I'm tapping out like I'm in the camel clutch here. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys Saturday night, the Vegas sports scene. If you're not going to check that out, check me out next Wednesday, 10 a.m. on the Bat Cave. Same bat time, same bat channel. And remember, next Wednesday, 10 a.m., Amish Country Mets fan and the Bat Fry, the dynamic duo. Same bat time, same bat channel.